back, peeps, to the Band of Bros channel. Today we've got a really interesting video for you guys. We're going to go over some pro strategy tips and tricks and just a general tactics on how to win more in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone mode. All right, so me and my friends have racked up about 20 wins or more in this game, and we are almost all, I'm level 155, my friends is almost as well. So we played this game a lot, so we played quite a few games. So I've got a lot of tactics that can help you guys improve and get more wins. We're going to be going over the dropping techniques, the best place to land, best loadout class, your general game plan, and the final stages in the game. So let's talk about dropping techniques. How do you drop faster than somebody else? What you are going to do is, once you mark the location that you want to drop, which we'll go into a second, which one is the best place to drop, once you mark that section, you will have meters in that mark, and it's going to tell you how many meters away you are from this location. When the plane is getting close to that location, you will see the meters start slowing down. Once those meters slow down, you drop. That means that you're going to ensure that you are dropping from the plane at its closest point to the mark, which is really, really important. Once you do this, if you are pretty far away, and in this clip, as you guys can see in the background, I'm pretty close to it, so I'm just going to dive right down. But if you're about 1,000, 1,500 meters away from this location, which is a fairly far away spot, what you're going to do is immediately, as soon as you jump out of the plane, you're going to open your chute. Once you open your chute, you're going to cut it immediately. Once you cut it, your player is going to take out his gun. And you guys know people love shooting each other once they take out their gun. Once he takes out his gun, after a little bit, he's going to put his gun back away. Once he does this and he puts his gun away, you're going to repeat the process, which means open the chute again and then cut it. Again, once you cut it, he's going to take his gun out. Once he puts it back in again, you're going to open your chute. And you keep repeating these process until you get to your destination. Now, let's figure out what is the best place to land. Is it military base? Is it airport? What is the best place to land? It actually all depends in the contract. So I'm not going to tell you, lies like, military base has the best loot, airport has the best loot. Honestly, since this game is not really based on loot and getting level 3 armor and all that kind of stuff, this game doesn't really depend on what loot does this location have. This game depends on the ammo that you on the money that you get, on the info that you get, on the location, knowing the next location, and having a good spot for the final circle. So what depends on the best place to land is going to be, you're going to look for a place that has around 2 to 3 recon contracts around that vicinity. So if you guys don't know, the recon contracts allow you to see the next circle location, and they also provide you with armor, which is pretty important when you're fighting against enemies. And knowing where the next circle will be is of vital importance. Why is this of vital importance? Because this game is not about loot and the guns. It's all about intel. If you have more intel than the enemies, and you know where they are, and you know where their circle is going to be, most likely you are going to beat them. All right. Usually, obviously, it does depend in a 1v1 situation, your gun skills. But if you're not better than other people, then it is vital importance that you have more intelligence than the enemy team. This is why knowing where the final circle is going to be is of crucial importance. All right. After you complete that first recon contract and loot that area, your team should have enough to pull all the team's cash and buy a loadout drop. As you guys can see right here, we did that fairly fast. We looted one place, we did one contract, and we all had enough money, you can see in the background, to buy the loadout drop and call it immediately. That is crucially, that is very, very important. As soon as you loot that place, and as soon as you have enough money, the first thing that you should buy is pull your cash together and get that loadout drop. All right. Now we're going to be going over what is the best class setup. All right? I'm not here to tell you, use this sniper and you're going to wreck everybody. Oh my God, this gun is insane. You're going to destroy everybody. No. Honestly, it really depends on the kind of player that you are. Personally, I like to use my sniper class, and I have a pistol, which I just exchange for whatever submachine gun or anything like that I find in the game. And I like to have my sniper agile and quick on the move. All right, I don't add anything that increases range or damage or anything like that, because this is going to make my gun slower when I'm on the move. And I feel that I'm on the move most of the time. And as you guys can see right now, if somebody were to snipe me and shoot stuff like that, it's going to be a lot easier for me if I have an agile sniper to turn around and scope in a lot faster and take a couple of shots at those guys. So personally, I like my sniper to be agile and quick while I'm on the move. Again, the gun, it just really depends on the kind of player that you are. All right. But now these perks and tacticals and lethals do apply for everybody. So the perks that everybody should have, number one is going to be cold-blooded. Cold-blooded makes you immune to thermal, which is, we all know, everybody loves thermal in this goddamn game. All right, so thermal Again, having cold-blooded makes you immune to thermal. Really, really important. So you're not this little white marker that they can see, you know, they can see really, really easy. So cold-blooded important. Second perk, you're going to have Ghost. Ghost makes you immune to UAV and heartbeat sensor. As you guys know, you can get the UAV from the shop, and heartbeat sensor, you can get it when you get your class, or you can pick it up in the map. So Ghost is really important. Again, talking about intelligence here, the less information you can give to your enemy, the better it is for you. The third perk is really up to you. I like to use Shrapnel because it gives me my 2 bouncing betties, and I have found my 2 bouncing betties, or the mines, or whatever they're called. As you guys can see right here in this clip, this is what I talk about my sniper being fast into fast. All right, so I'm running, and just having that agile sniper, it allowed me to get that, to acquire and to look at that target a lot faster and take a shot at him. So talking about the bouncing betties again. Bouncing betties, for me, they're just pretty useful. I like having my bouncing betties. I like having 2. Some people do like having the 2 grenades. But yeah, something really important that I do want to talk about, which you just saw in that clip, is knowing when your partner is down and knowing when you need to get the hell out of there. All right, so my partner was down. I saw him. I could have taken a couple shots at the enemies, but you know what? The zone is right behind me. You need to know when your partner is down, and you need to know when you need to leave to live for another day. All right, that is something that you need to understand in this game in order to win. So there we go. If your partner's dead, leave him. You know, you ain't going back for him. So let's jump back into the loadout class. For tactical, again, it is really, really important that you have the heartbeat sensor. If your friend has the heartbeat sensor and you're really well communicated, then maybe you can go ahead and use the smoke. Smoke is actually a pretty useful one when you're trying to escape or revive teammates. So you can go with either one, but I would suggest heartbeat sensor, especially because if you, like at the beginning, you know, we got our loadout class insanely fast, and you have a heartbeat sensor, and the enemy teams are fooling around and they don't have ghost on them, it's going to be a really huge advantage. Again, talking about that intel, if you have heartbeat sensor and they don't have ghost, it's going to be huge intel that you know where they are before they know where you are. That is, again, a huge advantage in this game. And again, the same thing, once you get that ghost early on, it's going to protect yourself against early UAVs or people having heartbeat sensors. So now let's talk about the next steps after you got the loadout drop and after you got the recon. So after you're all set up, right? Let's talk about the general game plan in this game. What is the best thing to do? So once you've done all your recon contracts and you know where the final circle is going to do, if you do not have a gas mask, move on and get a scavenger contract. Scavenger contracts are the one that have the little magnifying glass. They will provide you with some supplies and with some armor, but most importantly, they will provide you with gas masks. Gas mask, again, is important. They're crucial for the ending part of the match. If you don't have the gas mask, if you don't have the gas mask, go ahead and get the scavenger contract. So if you guys didn't know, it gives you around 10 to 12 extra seconds in the gas. And if you guys do want to know everything about how the gas and all that, and the gas mask, how all that works, I will put that video in the screen right now, which will explain to you all the mechanics on how the gas works, how many seconds you can be in the gas, and all that sort of stuff. So next up, the important things to buy from the shop. What are the main things to buy from the shop? It's going to be the loadout drop, obviously number 1, as we already spoke. Self-revive is going to be number 2. Self-revive is pretty important because if you're far away from your team or if you're in another building than they are, reviving yourself can be really important to get back into that fight and help your teammates. After that, UAV. Also, don't have your 3 teammates purchase UAVs because in the end round, most of the people do have ghosts and have all their perks already. So maybe have a teammate purchase a cluster strike or an airstrike. You never know when you need it. You never know if there's a team camping at the top of a building and you need to take them out with the airstrike. So maybe have 1 or 2 people with a UAV, but always do have that 1 extra person that gets the clusters or airstrike. It's pretty important. And again, if you were not able to get the gas mask because if you didn't find any scavenger contracts or you guys just haven't found any in the map, then it is also important to purchase a gas mask. And as well, always have max plates and communicate with your squad, and make sure that your squad has max plates as well. They're your team. You need to make sure they are as equipped as you are. All right. So now once you're all set, you start looking into the map where your final location will be. Like you can see where the circle will end and start planning before everybody else. So at the beginning, if you do 2 to 3 recon contracts, you know where the circle is going to end before everybody else. So you can start planning before everybody else and get to that location and start traveling to that location. Personally, I don't like using cars. I honestly think vehicles and helicopters, they're too noisy, because as soon as you get on them, you're a big red dot in the enemy screen and they can see you. So personally, I like to be stealthy but quick at the same time. Never underestimate the gas. Always move in front of the gas. But again, do not pick up a car unless you definitely need to. All right. Again, remember, always leave yourself enough time to maneuver around the map if you need to, because if you're running with the zone behind you and then you've got people to your left and you got people in front of you and you got people behind you and you got the gas behind you, you're dead. All right, that's the end of that one. So if you move with time and the gas is still behind you and you encounter some enemies in front of you, you can still maneuver, maybe move around the flank, do something else. But if you got the gas behind you, it adds pressure. And it doesn't let you, it's going to be really hard for you to win. As you guys can see here in the final stages of the map, what I do is I always like to move between cover. I never like to move around the map just like a chicken without a head, unless I have to. But because you never know when there's going to be a sniper in a rooftop aiming at your head, ready to take your head off. All right, so what I like to do in this situations, again, as you guys were noticing, I always like to move from building to building to building to building, always knowing where my next place is. So right here, I'm in this house, and I already know there's a house behind me. So here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take a couple of shots at the enemies I see here. Once I take a couple of shots at the enemies I see here, again, I know when my fight is won and when my fight is over, right? I can see here I'm still trying to take a couple of shots at him. I do miss, and I can see that there's 3 people here, and I'm going to try to take a couple of shots over here. Now, I know that my fight is over. I took as many shots as I could. I'm going to open that door just to kind of distract them a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run. I still have 30 seconds on the clock, as you guys can see. The zone is not moving yet. I still have 30 seconds. But I'm moving preemptively to the zone. I'm moving before that zone starts moving. You don't want to move once that zone is already on your ass. As you guys can see, I moved here before. I can move houses, and I can start checking what the other locations look like, down a couple people, and all that kind of stuff. If you see an enemy, always take the shot, because in these late rounds, if you take their armor, it's not like there's armor just lying around everywhere to be picked up. So if you see a guy, always take the shot with your sniper. It's always pretty useful. That's always what I like to do. Always take your shot with the sniper, because if you take armor away from that guy, you never know if you're gonna have to face him in the end. Now, this was a very difficult situation, but let's talk about what if you couldn't get to that final location that you wanted and get to that camping house that you wanted, even though if you already knew where it was going to end. Well, sometimes the best thing that you can do is, as you guys can see right here, is, again, self-revive, you're going to see right here, is extremely useful. Usually people in these final stages of the map, as you guys can see, 10 seconds until the zone starts moving in. So he takes me down. And because he was pushing on the final stages, he doesn't have enough time to take me out. He gets too worried about the zone. And once he takes me down, he assumes, you know, whatever he assumes, and he needs to start running. So if you give yourself time and start moving before the zone gets to you, it is of vital importance. Again, here, 18 seconds on the clock. I start trying to examine. Again, I see a guy. I take him down. It's of vital importance. As you get, again, never underestimate the gas. Never underestimate there may be somebody in the gas. Look at this. I mean, he's in the gas for a long time. Again, check my video out if you want to see how that works. But you can really be in the gas for around 30 seconds if you got the gas mask and if you got the full health. Again, here there is no cover. So you know what? Never be afraid to just hit the deck and just go all the way to the ground. That's basically what I did here. I see a couple guys shooting at me. I just started covering behind that rock. I was like, oh my god. I take a shot, again, take him down. Again, this is why I love my sniper agility and why I like it to be fast, so I can do these kind of shots while on the move. Again, I don't have any cover, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay down. I'm going to stay on the ground, stay low. This is basically what I'm going to do. And again, what I try to do is I try to take a look at my surroundings. Always look at your map. Always take a look at where the zone is, where the gas is. You don't want it to take you by surprise. So I'm always moving, and I'll always taking a look at where the gas is. Again, here, a guy takes a shot, and I'm also looking at the clock. I've got 1 minute and 22 seconds, and the zone is already moving in here. So I know that I need to do something fast, all right? Now, luckily, I had that guy, and he started shooting him from the side. So an enemy started shooting that guy from the side. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to do anything to them, all right? I see the guy in the open. I take a shot. I see the guy down, but I'm not going to take the shot. Why? Because I take the shot, I risk myself for the enemy to see me. As you guys saw, he did shoot, And now I know where his location is. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to push because I see he's in the gas, so he has less visibility. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push him, and I'm going to take that dubs. So that was an insanely good dubs on my part, honestly. That was a crazy ending. But yeah, that are basically the general tips and tricks and my general game plan when it comes to this game. If you guys did enjoy, thank you for tuning in. Let me know down below in the comments if you got a different technique or what has worked for you guys. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Peace out. And I'll see you all in the next one.